Here we go, Eibach GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, Race 1 from Autobahn Country Club. GRIDLIFE Chicagoland, a home event for us here at GRIDLIFE. On the front row, Andy Smedegaard and Tony Marchev. Here we go, green flag, and we're racing and underway at Autobahn Country Club South Course on the run to turn 1. A little stack up there with Catil protecting from Matt Waldbaum. It's tight quarters, almost a stop, and it's really dicey there in the opening turn. Everyone did a nice job, though, making it through the first turn, Mike, and they're going to spill out of turn 3. Smedegaard and Catil leading the way. Tony Marchev's got trouble.
That's what we're talking about. Tires aren't warmed up.
Jake Jornstad spins, slides, and back across the racetrack goes Eric Jensen, Michael Pagano. Everybody scatters. I think we might have made it out without any contact. Did Jornstad get the Armco there? He might have stopped.
I don't think he hit it. I don't think he hit it. And that's what I was talking about. That's that big, risky corner right there, especially on cold tires.
Wow, that was a big one there. Good job by everybody to stop and see that coming in an area of the racetrack they call $1 Million Corner, and that's for a reason. We'll stay green across the racetrack for now, with that yellow still waving at Sector 1. But Smedegaard and Catil first and second, that was crucial for the number 82.
Absolutely. Gave him an opportunity to kind of run away here, and now you've got two groups of cars, basically, the front and middle.
Yeah, and I don't know if there was, maybe the 32 broke something, the way that car spun around and pirouetted. So we'll see if he's been able to clear as Rosenberg looks to the inside of Tony Marchev up the backstretch. But in that championship fight, that's what Catil needed to do, is just get himself ahead of Rosenberg. And wins will take care of the rest, but he's got to hunt down one of the fastest in the series.
Yeah. I wonder if there was a little bit of an accordion effect as Tony got a little squirrely through there and everybody checked up.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that, but big scary moment when you have cars spinning, sliding all over the racetrack when the track funnels down into a chute. But Ayrton Grimm right out of the rush car straight into GLTC, and we're going across the start-finish line here. Smedegaard, Catil, Waldbaum, Marchev, Rosenberg, and I think we're clear over there at turn 3, Mike.
Amazing.
So we'll carry on.
Yeah, look at the rotation those two are getting through 3. The way the back end slides through like that. Good slip angle.
Matt Waldbaum there, the number 90, the S2000 bottom of the shot. He's put himself through. Now, you know, the challenge we talked about at Autobahn Country Club, this place races well. You've got lots of passing opportunities, but it can be hard to make passes when everyone's so close. And this is what we're going to see with these front two. Think back to Lime Rock Park, how much they had to follow each other in trail. You have to wait for a mistake. And Smedegaard and Catil are unlikely to make those.
I would agree. And Catil always seems to come on strong late in the race. You know, you can never really count him out towards the end. Interested to see how much curb Andy takes on 11.
Yeah, and Andy seems to, drive really aggressively. Again, probably one of the best mechanics in the paddock or in any paddock, and very comfortable using up his equipment. Eric Catil, also, very good mechanic in his own right, Honda engineer.
Absolutely.
And seems to be happy hammering curbs even with the low body and chassis on this car. But look at the gain there a little bit for Catil into 11.
Looks like they're not using as much as I would have expected. Maybe I need to switch up my line.
It's been sort of a give and take. We've seen some drivers really hammer those over there, but there seems to be an alternate line where you don't have to use them quite so much. And we've got a battle on our hands here, Mike. Catil that time through 4/10 better than Andy Smedegaard.
You wonder if Andy is nursing the tires a little bit, or if Catil has found something.
I think Catil and Andy on such an even playing field. But go back to CMP, which is a track very similar in layout to this course, designed by the same guy. Catil dominated there. It wasn't even close. 17 seconds up the road in one of the races, and this track is so similar. Give Catil clean air. I think we could see a similar dominant weekend. That's exactly what he needs to fight for the championship alongside Matai Rosenberg, who will be going to Laguna Seca. So he needs to stack up as many wins as he can at the tracks that Catil plans on going to, which is here in Joliet and then at Pittsburgh International Race Complex in October.
It's always a fascinating dynamic. Not only do you need to finish well at the races that you're going to, but what strategy do you employ on what races you attend?
That's exactly right. I mean, shipping your car all the way out there to California, that's, $5 or $6 grand round trip. So that's almost an entire season of transport otherwise, right? So it's a lot on the line there. Catil and Smedegaard just matched.
And they are walking away from the field.
Yeah, Waldbaum not even close, 3.7 seconds back. And this is exactly what Catil likes to do, is just separate the Gazelle from the rest of the herd. A little bit more curve there that time. And sizing up Andy. This is a track that Smedegaard knows really well, based in Plover, Wisconsin, with Andy Smedegaard Motorsports, where he does a lot of the tuning for cars that you see here in the paddock, a lot of building. And Catil is going to have a look to the inside, swings over to the left as Smedegaard goes on defense here, Mike. It's a battle and a brawl up front here.
This is the racecraft that I talk about. I've been watching Catil, like I said, from 2019. His in-car videos were always my favorite because you can see him set up a pass numerous laps ahead. So he's just poking there, just showing him that he's ready. I don't think he was actually ever intending to go for that move, but it's just to unsettle Andy.
Well, I think it's working. He's got Andy looking out the rearview mirror now. But Andy's so solid. And going back to when Andy was running an S2000 alongside the likes of Tom O'Gorman. The S2000 chassis won a lot of races that year, and they weren't all from Tomo. Andy had a number in his own car, and the bones of that car are actually what Matt Waldbaum is driving in third place right now. And here comes Catil, big run on the backside of the course. And the difference between these two cars, they're about 350 pounds apart in weight. The GT86 out front, Andy calls it the GT86.2. It has the F824 engine from the newer Toyota GR86, where Catil is running a Honda K24 swapped into this car, but there's very little Civic left originally. Look at this run, though, for Catil on the back straightaway, up alongside. This is for the lead.
Andy got a little bit squirrely coming out of patience there, and it looks like that run was all Eric needed.
Yeah, but into turn 11 now. Andy hangs on the outside. Catil jumps the curb side by side through turns 11 and 12, and coming back to the spectators up on the top of the building here. Door to door to turn 13. You can't do that here, Mike, but they're going to try it. Side by side, still through the last corner, coming to the stripe this time through 8 minutes to go, and Catil's on the preferred line on the front stretch.
This is the stuff we want to see. Look how respectful they're being, but still door to door.
And Catil gave it up. Gave it back to Andy there into turn 1. That inside line is so tight. But he is hounding this number 212 right now. This is a spectacular battle between these two. Andy on the back foot right now as they rumble towards turn 4.
I think that was a smart move. You tuck back inside, because if you battle too much, you give third place an opportunity. You give Waldbaum and Marchev an opportunity to come up.
Yeah, for those that might not be familiar with GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, on the first page of the rule book, it isn't anything about how you build the car. It isn't anything other than how you treat each other as racers, right? You don't win a race if in the process you lose the respect of your competitors around you. It's a core principle of this series. And Andy and Catil racing at the highest level in this series, and they know exactly how to put on a great show for the lead. And what's really the disadvantage of leaving each other racing room? You have a great battle in the process.
Absolutely, and as you can see, they're not losing time. They're still 5.5 seconds ahead of third place. It looks like that's been shifting around. Marchev up in third, Rosenberg in fourth, and Waldbaum in fifth.
Yeah, Waldbaum's dropped a couple spots there. Good pickup there, Mike, as Tom Rosenberg trying to cut the loss to Catil in the points for the weekend. You see the purple, white on the timing and scoring. That means Catil is the quickest of anybody on the course, and he's got Andy in a compromising position here again to turn 13. He's going to try the long way around this time. Rolls reversed. Oh, almost a little touch there as Catil had to bail out. But I think he wanted to try the outside. I think he'd prefer driver's left going into turn 1.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's trying all the different angles, and frankly, everything seems to be working. I think Andy is really driving a very defensive line throughout this, and that's giving Eric the opportunity to try outside, try inside, and still have the run.
Now onto the backstretch now towards turn 4. Once again, watch that delta. Catil a little slower than Smedegard that time through. Andy pushing out to the edge of the road to see the ticker shifting and shuffling as drivers make up positions here. But I love that they can battle this fiercely and not really give up time to the drivers in trail. But Tony Marchev in that 17 after a slow start, he might start chipping away at the laps from these front runners.
Yeah, he might. I thought maybe there was a battle happening in third through fifth, but it looks like they've got a little under a second of a gap between third and fourth, so they're just not catching up. These two are just battling it out and still maintaining speed.
And this is the closest battle and the fiercest one on the racetrack, so we'll keep you here until they fizzle.
This is where Catil's been really, really strong. It looks like he's made up a lot of time.
Yeah, leaving turn 10 now, up onto this back stretch. Right into slipstream here, about 115 miles an hour. What are you touching in a Club TR car down into turn 11?
111 to 113. Depending on the car.
Yeah, just about right then. So down into turn 11, look at Catil setting up Andy on defense here. And going to swing to the left again, much better run.
Oh, this is going to be great.
Side by side again through turn 13. They did this a couple laps in a row. Catil the long way around at turn 14. Back onto the front stretch again. 5 minutes to go as they cross under the flag stand. Catil takes the lead away. And Andy's going to poke the nose in the inside of turn 1. He's not willing to give this up just yet.
This will compromise Eric's angle. Oh, nope. He closed the door on him. Got him.
Wow. So now with Catil having clear air in front of him, we'll see if he just sets sail.
And it looks like the rear end of Andy's car is really lively. Having trouble getting the power down. I think he makes a little bit more torque than Cantil probably does, maybe around that 190 mark.
Yeah, into turn 5. Eric in the 82 takes the lead away, and again, I think he's just going to light the afterburners now, Mike, and just start to sprint away. And we'll find our other battles a bit deeper in the field here. Here's Zach Mortimer in the 369, Joe Tulo in the 43. Two different 3 Series BMWs from very different eras.
That's very cool to see. Different builds as well, different approaches to it.
This is down the field in about 16th place. So the Natalie Latos, Dakota Pionic. There's Piero Pucci in his first ever Eibach GLTC race in that red FRS in the background as well. And he had to dodge and weave through that opening lap incident, which for your first ever GLTC race to have to dodge incidents like that was well done.
Yeah, great head on his shoulders. Really heads up driving to be able to get through there. And man, if I was top 20 in my first GLTC race, I would be ecstatic.
Yeah, so Tulo in the 43, the Scully Motorsport car. It's just ahead now of that scrap that we're talking about with Pucci in the red FRS. And here's another little fight. A couple of BMW M3s, a little Shukla. This is about 11th and 12th. Julio Crispin just ahead. And Louis Chatroop running up inside the top 10. Ayrton Grimm still P7. It's a great run for him after jumping out of the rush car. And then back up to 3rd place. Here's Matan Rosenberg in the blue and white Falcon car, chasing Tony Marchev in the 17.
This is going to be a good battle. That gap at one point was around 0.6 of a second. Now he's really tightened it up here. I do love seeing Ayrton up there, seeing that NC up in 7th place, let alone just getting out of the rush car and hopping into this. It's got to be exhausting. This track doesn't give you a lot of time to breathe. It doesn't give you a lot of opportunity to relax. Marchev
and Rosenberg nose to tail still. Podium points pay out a little bit more than 4th, 5th, and so on and so forth. Here's a battle between these two. 0.4 of a second quicker for Rosenberg last time around. And here's a look at the weekend points as they run. And Marchev would be 3rd. If they were to swap positions, this would change the story just a little bit.
That's huge for Tony. That's huge for Eric.
And for Cantil in particular. I think it's less about the weekend. I mean, here's the tricky thing about this. It's more about the race wins for Cantil, but in the process, he'll probably end up on top for the weekend. But, you know, you can have a good weekend without winning, but Cantil really needs every last point he can earn. And where do those points come from? The 25 points is for the win, and he scored 1 point in qualifying by virtue of the 3rd place. Andy Smedegaard would normally earn 21 points for being in 2nd place, but he has 3 points from the pole position. So that will give him the 24 that he's got for now. Looks like Tony and Matan's line vary just a little bit. You'll notice Tony is swinging that out a little wider in turn 1. I noticed Matan was using a whole lot more curb through 11 as well, so it's interesting to see two similar cars but vastly different lines. Look at this little schnozzle on the backstretch. Look, Michael Pagano to the outside of Piero Pucci. There's Natalie Latos in the MX-5. Dakota Pionic just ahead there. Look at Pucci on the outside. That was a move into turn 11. Respectful all around, but yeah, that was gutsy. I like it. And he's really getting his feet wet. Around the outside of Latos there, she has to give up a little bit. Michael Pagano on recovery from that big slide and spin on the opening lap in the 116. That Japanese market BMW right-hand drive. Going to try to sneak to the inside, but I don't think worth the risk there. Matt Beck and the 240SX going to try the long way around there in the red car. This is what I love about GLTC. Everywhere in the pack, there is this wheel-to-wheel racing. And you'll notice the same kind of respect that we saw up in front. Even though these folks are all going door-to-door like this, they're still pushing. Oh, look at Pagano up the inside at 4. That's a bit dicey there again. Trying to get Latos to give him the inside lane somewhere. But that's going to leave him vulnerable to Beck, who carries much more speed through 4. And here's Robbie Vierhout way on the inside. That half didn't work, and he's going to push wide just a touch. 4 is an interesting place to try and make a pass. That is a fast corner with a decreasing radius. So it looks like you've got a whole lot of space as you start to turn in. But that outside edge comes up real quick. White flag. It is the last lap. The leaders have already crossed the start-finish line here. So 1 lap to go in Eibach GLTC Race 1. There's Cantil, 2.5 seconds over Andy Smedegaard. And this looks a lot like what we saw at Carolina Motorsports Park. And everybody here should be circling this 82 and putting a target on those taillights. Absolutely. You're a little bit of a prophet there. You called that one, didn't you? Again, I think this car is just so well suited to tracks like this. And again, it's not by as much as he won at CMP.
you know, I'm actually paddocked right across from Eric, and after every single session, he's had that car up on jacks, and they've been messing with the alignment, messing with the settings just a little bit. And you'll notice, I mean, Andy had a big gap on him in qualifying. And we were wondering how that was going to play out in the race. I think those little changes that Eric's been making, we know how diligent he is about that, have really shown the results here.
Eric Catil this season has won 4 races. 3 of them came at Carolina Motorsports Park. The most recent came in race 4 at Lime Rock Park just a couple of weeks ago in August. His average finish this year, 2.6. It's better than anyone in Eibach GLTC history. The champion gets to go to Germany, to Eibach's factory headquarters, and maybe even drive at the Nürburgring. Catil getting the job done here at Autobahn Country Club. 5th win of the season in GRIDLIFE Chicagoland. Eric Catil trudging just ever closer to the chance at a second title here in this competitive grassroots series. Andy Smedegaard comes home second. Tony Marchev and Matan Rosenberg rumbling to the line 3rd and 4th. And Matt Walbaum, after, whoops, I thought he was going to pick up 5th, but he made a mistake in the last corner. He's going to give up P5 to Lena Chin, who will grab a top 5 position here in the 917.
I noticed Catil got a little squirrely through that final corner there as well. I was thinking maybe he just wasn't taking his foot off the gas, even though he had quite a bit of a lead. That seems like the Catil mentality. But with Waldbaum going off there too, I wonder if something was laid down.
It's possible. Yeah, certainly there could be something out there. I did see Jake Jornstad go off the racetrack early on. So maybe there was some kind of fluid or something after a slip and sliding across the grass like that. But for Eric Catil, his goal this weekend is just win everything. That's going to be his goal at pit race as well. And the unfortunate thing for Catil is it's a little bit out of his hands, because when Rosenberg goes to Laguna Seca, if he wins every race there, the math and the path to championship gets very, very slim. But Matan didn't win all 4 races there last year, so I think there's still a possibility that he pulls this out with a strong tail end of the season. Let's have a look here at our race results for Eibach GLTC race number 1. And Catil gets it done by 3.1 seconds. Tony Marchev in his first return to GLTC since June, up inside the top 5. Matan Rosenberg, Lena Chin grabs the top 5 late in the going over Matt Waldbaum, Grimm, Chatroop, Smith, and Julio Crispin. And down the rest of the order here, Eric Jensen, nice save in that opening slip up. Michael Pagano rebounds for an 18th. Piero Pucci in his first ever race, 19th spot. Matt Beck in 20th. Look down the rest of the order. Unfortunate for Jake Jornstad, but hope there's no damage to repair on that car after that slip and slide on the opening lap.
Yeah, I don't think I saw him catch the wall, so it might be something broken in the suspension. You're right. Hopefully they can get that worked out.
Well, let's have a look here at the highlights from Eibach GLTC race number 1.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of them.
Eibach GLTC race 1 here at GRIDLIFE Chicagoland. 28 cars rolled off the grid to take the first green of the weekend, and on the start, a little bit of a stack up into turn 1 at the tight confines of the opening sector. Then Jake Jornstad slips, slides, Jensen dives, Pagano dives, everybody slips. I think Jake did catch the wall there on the right just a little bit, but went in there pretty slow. Hopefully that he's all right after all that. Did drive away. Then up front, it was a battle between Andy Smedegaard and Eric Catil, and for 3rd between Marchev and Matan Rosenberg. Great fights a little bit deeper in the field here with Dakota Pionic, Michael Pagano, and more. All the while, Catil putting pressure on the back of the 212 ASM car that won at Lime Rock Park. These two battled there, as they did here. A little bit of a swing over, and maybe the slightest of touches at turn 13 that time around. But Catil just lined up and drove away 3 seconds and won his 5th race of the season. Checkered flag on Eibach GLTC, race 1.